We're going to quickly talk about the scholarly design defense that explains the instructional and cognitive rationale behind my 4th grade ELA unit, Reading Detective's Case File, Making Inferences. The first thing I want to talk about is how this design initially gets students to the transfer goal. And the transfer goal is the students independently combining textual evidence with their background knowledge to make and justify inferences across a variety of texts and situations. So throughout this walkthrough, I will explain how the site's architecture, cognitive design, social agency, and accessibility features support this goal. So the first thing I want to talk about is the architecture. The architecture of this Google site was intentionally designed using the understanding by design principle. Rather than just organizing learning around isolated activities, every component of the site is aligned to the transfer goal that was established in Module 1. So it's not just activity, activity, activity with no outcome. The activities that are in these day-to-day lessons have a reason. The first one is this Lumi branching scenario. So as they're practicing, they're able to reach a goal, whether they understand what an inference is or they do not understand what an inference is. It gives them immediate feedback. And then here's another detective think aloud. So it's not just, oh, let's read this passage and talk about what inferences you came up with. It asks them questions. It makes them think deeper beyond just the passage. Another thing is avoids the coverage overload. So as you can see, the day-to-day design is very simple, very straightforward. The students do not have to dig for anything. They do have a few clicks. Sometimes, for instance, like this, they have to click on the activity to complete it, click on this link to find the answers. But other than that, everything is exactly where they need it, how they need it. It's color-coded. And it's all consistent. So each day looks the same, just different information, different activities. Each day does build on each lesson, and then it eventually gets the students prepared for this day 5 independent activity. It goes from, in day 1, it's building on what an inference is. Day 2, they're distinguishing inferences, whether they're literal or just an inference where they have to use the background knowledge. And then it goes to day 3, where they're using graphic organizers to help collect what the evidence is, what the prior knowledge is, in order to make the inference organized. It helps them organize their thoughts. And then, like I said, it all builds on each other to get them prepared for the independent practice on day 5. The next thing we're going to talk about is the cognitive efficiency. Like I said, it is all very consistent. You'll see the same things, the bolded words, the red fonts, the highlighted parts. I intentionally applied the Myers segmenting principle. Instead of presenting all content at once, information is divided into manageable chunks across separate lesson pages. So here's the home page. Okay, like I said, it's just the start of the unit. Day 1 tells them exactly what they will be doing in red font here. That is what there will be, that's their whole goal, is making an inference. The bolded text tells them that they need to be doing this is important. And you will see a day-to-day, the red exclamation, which is going to read their goal for the day. As I click through day 2, day 3, day 4, and day 5, the very first thing you see is highlighted text, bolded text, red font, and their goal. It keeps them on a one-track mind and helps them know, okay, this is my learning target today, this is the instructional focus, and this is the practice opportunity that I will have for each day. The instructional video on the home page also gives the students direct instruction before moving into a guided and independent practice. This helps them really understand what an inference is. They use picture clues to help them figure out, okay, this little boy here is the one who ate the cookies. And how do we know that? Because of the crumbs, because of the chocolate on his face. And it also gives them this graphic organizer, and it does the same thing that the video did, just in a infographic space. So instead of listening to it, they can read it on their own and say, okay, here's the clues, here's what I already know about rain and thunderstorms, now let's make an inference. This also aligns with the cognitive load theory because it minimizes unnecessary mental effort and allows students to devote more working memory to the actual process. So let's click on day 3. Okay, here's my goal. I can combine text evidence and background knowledge to make strong inferences. We're kind of connecting the clues and knowledge. This is what I need in order to make a strong inference. Then they go in, here's their story, their directions, their graphic organizer, all next to each other. If I scroll, what's the reflection? And another thing that they will have on a day-to-day basis is this inference help at the bottom of their page. They can click on this anytime they need any additional support. So if they're on day 4 and they say, I don't know what inference is, or if they're still stuck, or they just need a little extra help, they can go all the way at the bottom and it's there on a day-to-day basis. Another thing I want to talk about is the social agency of this unit. The social agency component of the unit is evident in both the instructional video and the LUMI branching scenario. So in the video, we're going to talk about Myers' personalization principle. So in this video, I do deliver the instruction and the information in a conversational and human-centered style. I acted as if I was standing in front of a classroom. I wanted whoever was going to watch this video know that I was there to help them rather than just spitting out a bunch of information. The LUMI branching scenario, like I said, it gives the students immediate feedback of whether they got the answer right or wrong. So regardless of what they're going through in this scenario, if they get it wrong, it gives them a little extra help. If they get it right, they keep pushing forward. But the LUMI branching scenario extends this approach because, like I said, it does give them that immediate feedback. Now, right off of this, we're going to talk about the accessible transcript that I uploaded here. If the students aren't able to access this LUMI branching scenario, they can access the transcript, the accessible transcript PDF of the activity. And this helps with the robustness of the unit. This alternative preserves the same learning objective and decision-making process as the digital activity, allowing students to demonstrate inference skills even if the technology is unavailable. So here you have the same scenario, same questions, and right underneath it they can check their answer, whether they got it right or got it wrong. And the one thing I do like about this is if they get it right, here's why. If they get it wrong, here is the why. It explains to them whether they got it correct or why they got it correct or why it is not correct. So that is there for the students. There is also alternative text on every single image that is there for the student. So if they do not have an option to access some of the pictures or the videos, it is there. On this video, if they start it, it will automatically have captions, and if not, it gives them directions here on how to make the captions come on. So that helps with the students' inclusivity. If they don't have what they need, this website, this unit has everything they need. Even if it isn't a direct shot, there is alternative ways for them to get the transfer goal of this entire unit.